this question of what is the meaning of life, which was the most difficult question ever, because I felt a little bit like, I don't know, like you were messing with me. I mean, you are expecting me to answer to you what is the meaning of life. It's kind of weird because there's no answer or there's no meaning, but I will try to answer to this question philosophically, because otherwise I don't know how to answer to this question, and this is going to be my, I don't know, my point of view of what is the meaning of life, through the tarot, of course. We can start. I have a candle here and a bone. I have all these plants to make and call all the spirits of, I don't know, the past, fire, earth. I have no water. I have some coffee here, or some juice. Okay, it's liquid, it counts. And we can start the session. I think I am going to make an abstract drawing with the cards. I have all the major arcana only because I think that it's a spiritual question, so I have only the cards that carry a more spiritual meanings. Though it can be in everyday stuff, the meaning of life, but okay. I'm gonna improvise. Oof. This card, it's the Tower. It's in German, but anyway. The Tower, it's a card about distraction. Of course, the meaning of life for you would be distraction. There's a meaning about a very violent situation that collapses very violently. It's all of a sudden. It's also hard in English. It is about something that collapses and in a very sudden way, and we are not prepared for it. It's a shocking distraction. So it's like a construction. So the card shows people that are throwing away of the tower, like a home, like a base that you have built it, and suddenly it's getting destroyed. In some other tarot cards, it's about instead of people, there are birds that are flying away. So it's also the meaning of how when something is it's collapsed, you're forced to move away and search for something new, for a new construction, to construct something new. But there is a violent situation, there's a shock that creates this situation. It's not something you have prepared, and then it's not with care and not so much. Yes, it's not with the care and how I can create something softly and with a loving way. It's with a shock. I think it suits me. Also about never mind. We can continue the reading and things will come up. I hope the sound is okay, you can listen to me. I try to speak loudly. the Hierophant, he's like a higher priest. He's a Taurus. Uh, this card is actually opposite to the first one, that it talks about deconstruction. This talks about construction and structures and hierarchies and like very ideas that are very structured and very methodical. It can also talk about academies or schools or hospitals. It talks about institutions. So the fact that they are connected, it means that it's kind of like there's a meaning also in constructing and deconstructing, because when you when you destroy something, then it's just chaos, and you never suggest anything about it. It's like you just destroy something, but it's like a hate, like something that you do out of hate and not out of something that you have an idea and you want to create something new. There's just a feeling of a hatred feeling. But when it's connected to construction also, it's about how, like, I don't like a structure, or it's a structure that it no longer offers me anything. It doesn't go anywhere else, so I have to deconstruct it, and then also have the willing to construct something new. It's more to this idea than just destroying, like a spoiled child that just needs attention and it's like, I just want to make panic and destroy everything with violence just to get some attention. It's not about the attention, it's about how you're building and destroy ideas at the same time, and not only at the same time, but in if time is like this, because time is not linear, then destruction and construction is there at the same time, and we have to be aware of it. Because if you're aware of it, it means that we have an intention about this construction. So I think they're very connected. You can see them. I don't know if maybe I can send you also the cards and take a picture if you want to observe the cards themselves. And the third card, it's I don't know in English the word. It's like the Empress. The Empress. It's a very female archetype. It's this lady. I don't know if you can look at her. She's the mother of Earth. She's a mother, of course. She's the archetype of fertility. But fertility through very earth qualities, because she's like the seed on the ground. She throws seeds on the ground, and then it's not about how she expects them to grow, but she's just the archetype of throwing the seeds on the ground. She never knows if these seeds are going to grow, if they're going to be trees, or if they're just going to be eaten by birds. But her intention is to throw her seeds on the ground. I think she's a figure I'm not sure, but I think that in the way it is developing, the cards are developing, whatever. I think it talks about a meaning again in construction and in deconstruction, and it talks about the intention that has to be a loving mother intention. It's about like a spiritual goal, not exactly goal in the way goal, maybe not goal. How can I say this? Scopos. It's a spiritual intention anyway. That okay, I'm here. I live. I have not actually a reason to live. I mean, I'm also space. I'm not more than a human. I am just. I just exist. So I try to find a meaning in my life. So this is my goal, to find the meaning, and that's the meaning itself also. So trying to find a meaning. So about construct and deconstruct, it's about how I intend to, my intention in constructing and deconstructing. It has to be an intention that it's trying also to protect something that is archetypical. It's about how time just passed, and we are just in the circle or the spiral of time, and we just pass through the history, and we try to leave seeds that we'll never know how these seeds will grow or not grow, but our intention and our like principle in a way has to be to care about this historical source, this source of water. It's just okay, time. It goes like this, and we have to connect to this flow, and in this flow all we need to connect with is something careful about what this planet we live in is, or this universe. This is our intention has to be love. Also, when we destroy things, we need always, when we destroy things, we need to have a ground that we can suggest something else. Because this is careful to me. Of course, violence is something we cannot skip because it's inside us. It's everywhere. We look around. Violence is everywhere. Violence is even in very small things like I have a desire or I have a dream I want to fulfill, and I don't know, I haven't eaten. And this could be violence because it's an obstacle. I mean, violence could be in very small things, but also in very social or political situations that I don't want to talk about right now. So, in this violence, we have always to answer with love. We can never just leave violence like, okay, this is violence. Okay, I know. I mean, I can see it everywhere. I can see it walking on the streets, in homeless people. I can see it people fighting. I can see it in women getting exploited, or women getting raped. Or violence is everywhere I look around. It's a social situation. It's everywhere. But how do I answer? 'Cause, to this violence? How do I answer 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 to this vi how do I bring it back? How to never mind. How this violence how do I eat this violence and how do I vomit it back? Because vomit is a violent situation, but how after this vomit I can take again all these filthy pieces and create something with love. Okay, this is a very bad example, I think. I don't know, I hope somehow it makes some sense. To me, love. That's an answer for everything. Okay, I hope it makes sense. I can have one more card because also it's kind of difficult because you're not. I try to imagine your energy and your presentation in space, and now that I kind of fantastically talk with you, memories come up. I can remember you better, but it's also kind of hard not to be on the other side because tarot is also about a dialogue and not a monologue. And maybe if we meet another time, we can do it again. At the moment, that's the things we have. How do you call this in English? Wait, I have to check the English word for it.
Really? Okay. Alright, let's go on the right track.
Temperance. Yes. Oof. Temperance is also your zodiac sign. How do you go? Fuck, my English. Okay, your zodiac sign. We all remember what's your zodiac sign. Temperance. It's about a healing through balance. It's a healing process through balancing water and air quality. She holds these two cups where she passes water from one to another. Her spiritual animals are lion and eagle. And it talks about how different qualities, sometimes even opposite qualities, like two poles, in order to connect these two poles, because there's a whole phasma between two poles, the edges. It's the how can we connect two poles? It's by understanding the whole phasma that it's between the two poles. So it's like I have, I don't know, black and white, you know, two opposites. And the trying to heal every intention that it's not loving, and trying all the time to do whoop, whoop, whoop. But this card, it's about how these two poles are connected with the liquid, and they are connected, which is very important. It's not just one here, and there is no communication between these two poles. It's like the liquid connects these two poles. Which also liquid, also in tarot, the water quality is always about emotions and again love. Sorry, but it's very important to me. So it's water source. It's about how through emotions I try to connect two different things that are not themselves connected, but how all this process to me, it's something very healing, trying to connect two poles. And maybe in this card reading, the two poles are construction and disconstruction. I think it's very important to you, these two poles. It's this thing and how this can be in between. Also, I think these cards go together, and construction and disconstruction go together. You have construct, disconstruct, you have loving, and how these two different opposite things can connect with love and bring some fertility to you. So maybe we can do a sum up, because I think it's kind of chaotic what has happened until now. To me also, because it's in English. If you're searching for a meaning in life, I think a whole through time, when you can search for it, it's by asking questions to you. How I construct, how can I construct and disconstruct with a more loving and the female energy, because she's a very female energy. She's the main. She's like the first female. She's the empress. She's the female, the archetype of a female. How can I connect these two poles, these two different poles, in a way where violence is no longer violence, is just a representation of it, or just a way I'm trying to connect to someone, but also how, when I bring it to the surface, I can also bring it with the loving and the healing way, and not just something that is just a representation of violence. So maybe I don't know, it's very hard to talk about meanings, because I don't believe in meaning in life, and I mean there's no meaning in life. It's just the meaning of life is that we just exist. I mean, existence is the only meaning of life. I just exist. I eat, I create relationships. I don't know. That's it, the meaning. But maybe to you it's kind of helpful to think about construction, and what what construction is to you and what disconstruction is to you. Why do you have a need to disconstruct something? Why do you have a need to construct something? I believe the meaning is only in questioning and not answering. So you can just question yourself through this way of thinking, maybe. And I don't know if it's helpful. I hope it was helpful for you because I think it's asking what is the meaning of life means in a way that you cannot find it, or maybe you can, but you just wanted to make me feel uncomfortable because I've been trying to. I'm thinking about this question since I met you, and okay, life is already a journey, but there was one question more to my journey, so that's why I was also late, because through many adventures I've been on, this question was coming up, and it made me feel. Sometimes I was like, "What the fuck is he asking me?" I mean, I was angry with you. Why the fuck should he ask me such a question? I mean, what the fuck? Other times anyway, I was in the process of trying to answer this question, and I realized that there's no answer in this question except that the meaning of existence is existence. This simple fucking answer. There's no meaning, we just exist. But there is also meaning because we exist. I mean, what the fuck? It's very fucked up. That's it. I hope it was helpful. Whatever you need, or something you need to ask me about, or anything you want, you can send me an email. I hope it was you spent nicely your time.